1. Introduction. My name is Isabella. I was born in New York City. My family was very rich. We lived in a very big house. It was like a palace with many rooms. There were big gardens outside with beautiful flowers. My father was a very rich man. He owned many big hotels in different cities. He also owned ships that sailed on the sea and even a place where they found shiny stones. People saw me and said, "She is the rich girl." They thought I had everything I could ever want, but having everything money can buy does not always make you happy. My mother was very kind. She always smiled at me. But she died when I was only 10 years old. After she was gone, the big house felt colder and empty. It was very quiet. My father was always busy with his business. He talked about work all the time. He traveled a lot for his business. He did not talk to me much about how I felt or about my day. So, I often felt very lonely in that big house. I felt like a small boat lost in a big sea with no land in sight. I had many toys, beautiful dresses, and everything money could buy. But I did not have a real friend to talk to about my thoughts or my feelings. I did not have a warm hug when I felt sad or lost. I wanted a real connection with someone, something more than just things. When I was 24 years old, my life started to change. I met a man named Johnny. It happened at a big party my father had for his business friends. The room was full of important and rich people. They wore expensive clothes and talked about important things like money and business. I felt a little out of place, even in my own home. Johnny was not like them. He was tall, with dark hair and a kind smile. He worked as a driver for one of my father's friends. He did not have money or an important name in that world, but he looked kind. I wanted to believe he was kind. He looked at me from across the crowded room. Our eyes met. He smiled at me. It was a simple smile, not big or loud, but it felt very warm. It felt like the sun after a long, cold winter. It felt like hope entering my life. I smiled back at him. That small smile, that small moment between us, felt like the start of a new story for me. A story I hoped with all my heart would be beautiful and happy. A story different from my lonely past. 2. A secret love. My father did not like Johnny from the first day he heard about him. He had a strong, loud voice and told me, "Isabella, he is not our type. He has no money, no important family. He is not for you." My father saw only Johnny's job and his empty pockets. But I did not see those things. I saw Johnny's eyes and his smile. I loved Johnny, or I thought I did. He made me feel like a normal girl, not just the rich girl. With him, I was just Isabella. So, we started to meet in secret places, away from my father's eyes and the eyes of his world. Johnny did not take me to fancy restaurants. He took me to small cafes where the coffee smelled wonderful and people laughed easily. We walked in quiet parks under big green trees and watched children play. We went to cheap cinemas that showed old movies, and we ate popcorn from a big bag. To hide, I wore big sunglasses that covered my eyes and hats that covered my hair. I felt like a spy in a movie, and it was exciting. These simple dates made me feel happy and free, like I was living a real life, not just a life in a big house with many secrets. After 6 months of these secret meetings, quiet walks, and whispered words, Johnny asked me to marry him. He held my hand. His eyes were serious. He said, "Isabella, I love you. Marry me." My heart jumped with happiness. I said, "Yes, yes, I will marry you." We did not want a big wedding with my father's friends. We wanted something just for us. So we ran away to Las Vegas, a city of bright lights and quick decisions. I bought a simple white dress with my own money. It was not a designer dress, but I felt beautiful in it. We got married in a small chapel. There was no family there, no friends from my old life. It was just me and Johnny. I truly believed I was happy then. Or maybe I just really wanted to be happy. 3. The big lie. After Las Vegas, we moved to a small apartment in Brooklyn. It was very different from my father's big house in the city. The rooms were small. The paint on the walls was old, and we could always hear the sounds of the city outside our windows, but I did not care about these things. I left my old, comfortable life behind. I gave up my big mansion with its many rooms. I left my expensive clothes and my shiny shoes. I no longer had a driver to take me everywhere I wanted to go. I tried to forget that I was from a rich family. Johnny held me close. He said, "Don't worry, Isabella. I will work hard. I will take care of you." I believed him completely. I really wanted to believe in our new, simple life together. But things started to change, and they changed quickly. Johnny started staying out late. He came home late almost every night. When he came home, the smell of his clothes was strange. It was a sweet, strong perfume. It was not my perfume. He often looked tired. He always said he was working very hard for us. I wanted to trust him very much, so I believed his words again and again. I told myself that being married was difficult sometimes. I thought he was just stressed because he was working hard. Then one morning, I was making our bed in our small bedroom. The sun was shining inside. I saw something gold and shiny under Johnny's pillow. I picked it up. It was a small gold earring. It was a woman's earring. It was definitely not mine. My heart felt very heavy. It felt like a stone falling into cold water, sinking deep and fast. I waited for Johnny to wake up. I held the earring in my hand. My hand was shaking a little bit. When he opened his eyes, I showed him the earring. My voice was very small when I asked, "What is this, Johnny?" Tears started to come into my eyes. I thought he would say he was sorry. I thought he would tell me why it was there. But he did not do that. He looked at the earring in my hand. Then he looked at me, and he started to laugh. It was a cold, hard laugh. It was not kind. "What did you think, little rich girl?" he said. His voice was full of something ugly and mean. "Did you really think I married you because I loved you? Don't be so stupid, Isabella." My heart did not just feel broken. It felt like it was torn into a million tiny pieces. The man I thought I loved, the man I left everything for, he was not real. He was a lie. Our life together, our love, everything was a big, terrible lie. For divorce and headlines. I could not stay in that small apartment anymore. Johnny's cruel words and his terrible laugh filled every room. My hands were shaking badly. I quickly packed a small bag with just a few things. I left that night. The lights of the city looked blurry through my tears as the taxi drove away from Brooklyn. I went back to my father's house, the big, quiet mansion. It felt strange, like walking back into a cage I had left, but it was the only place I knew to go. My father was waiting when I arrived. He looked at my face, which was wet with tears, and at the small bag in my hand. He was angry. His face was red. But under his anger, I felt that he was also a little happy, like he thought, I knew this would happen. He said to me, "I told you so, Isabella. I warned you about him. He was not right for you." His words hurt me very much, but I was too sad and too broken to argue with him. The very next day, the story was everywhere. It was in all the newspapers. Big, black letters on the front page shouted the news. "Billionaire heiress divorces poor driver." My picture was there on the page. It was a sad picture from my wedding day in Las Vegas. Johnny's picture was there too. In his photo, he looked handsome and innocent. Everyone in the city, maybe even everyone in the country, started talking about me. They laughed at me. They called me the foolish rich girl who ran away with a driver and got her heart broken very quickly. I felt completely humiliated. I wanted to disappear from the world. I stayed in my room for many weeks. I did not want to see anyone or talk to anyone at all. The curtains in my room were always closed, keeping out the light. The world outside felt too loud and too cruel for me. People wrote terrible things about me on social media. They called me foolish, dumb, and spoiled. They said I deserved everything that happened to me. Each bad word they wrote felt like someone was throwing a small stone at me, hurting me again and again. But slowly, something inside me started to change. The deep sadness did not go away completely, but a new, different feeling started to grow next to it. It was anger. I began to feel angry. I was not weak. I was not dumb like they said. I was hurt, yes, but I was also very angry. I wanted to show them. I wanted to show everyone who Isabella really was inside. I was not just the sad, poor little rich girl they read about in the news. I wanted to prove all of them wrong. I wanted to show them I was strong. 5. My own empire. I took all my hurt and anger. I decided to use these strong feelings to do something good. I did not want to feel like a victim anymore. I went to see my father in his office. I told him clearly, "Father, I want a job in your company. I want to learn and work." He looked at me with surprise. He probably thought I was not serious. He said something like, "You work. What do you know about business?" But I kept asking him. I showed him I was serious. Finally, he gave me a job. He gave me a hotel to manage. It was not a good hotel. It was very old and needed many repairs. It was losing money every month. Everyone in the company knew it was failing. I think my father gave it to me because he thought I would not be able to fix it. He thought I would give up quickly. But I did not give up. I worked incredibly hard. I spent almost all my time at the hotel. I was there early in the morning before anyone else and stayed late at night. I studied how hotels work. I learned about the costs, the staff, the guests. I talked to everyone. We started to change the hotel building. We painted the walls, fixed the broken things, and bought new furniture. We made the rooms clean and comfortable. I also changed the people working there. I hired a new team who were excited to make the hotel better. We worked together. Then, I started to use the internet. I created pages for the hotel on social media. We posted beautiful photos of the new rooms and the happy guests. We offered special deals for people to come and stay. Slowly, people started to notice the changes. Guests came to the hotel, and they liked it very much. They wrote happy comments online. The hotel became popular very fast. It was not the old, failing hotel anymore. It was a cool, new place people wanted to visit. News about the hotel's success spread. People started to look at me differently. They did not see me as the foolish rich girl who made a mistake. They saw me as a young woman who worked hard and built something successful. They called me a young business queen. It felt good to build something with my own hands and my own ideas. One evening, I was on a television show. I was talking about the hotel and my work. Later that night, my phone showed a new message. It was from Johnny. He wrote, "Wow, I saw you on TV. You look amazing. We should talk." I read the message. I felt no love, no sadness, just emptiness for him. He was part of a life that was over. I deleted his message immediately. I did not answer him. My focus was on my future, on the empire I was building myself. 6. The new man. My life slowly started to feel a little brighter and better. My hotel was doing very well, and I felt a strong sense of pride in what I had built with my own hard work. I knew I had created something successful. One evening, I went to a big fashion event in the city. My company had a new partnership with a fashion company, and I was there to represent my business. The room was full of stylish people, loud music, and bright flashing lights from cameras. It felt a little like my old world, But now I was there as a strong businesswoman, not just my father's daughter attending a party. That night, I met a man named Marco. A business friend introduced us. I learned later that Marco was also from a very rich family. His family owned a large and famous fashion company. But Marco was very different from other rich men I knew in my life. He was especially different from Johnny. Marco was calm and quiet. He spoke softly, and he seemed very clever and kind. We started talking for a long time. When we spoke, he did not ask about my father's money or the past scandal with Johnny. Instead, he asked about my ideas for the hotel and about my plans for the future of my business. He listened very carefully when I spoke. He made me laugh easily with a real, happy laugh. I had not laughed like that for a very long time. We started to talk every day. He would call me, or we would send messages to each other. We met for coffee often. We did not hide our meetings. We met in public places like cafes and parks. He told me about his business, and I told him about mine. I started to feel something new growing inside my heart. It was a small spark of hope for the future. But I was also still very scared. Johnny's betrayal had hurt me deeply. I was afraid to trust a man again, afraid to open my heart and be hurt like that again. One evening, Marco and I were walking together in Central Park. The city lights made the sky glow above us. I must have looked sad for a moment, because Marco stopped walking and looked at me with kind eyes. He took my hand gently in his. His voice was soft and understanding. He said, "Isabella, I know you are scared to trust again, but I want you to know something very important. Please believe me when I say I am not Johnny." His simple words, spoken so directly and honestly, went straight into my heart. My eyes immediately filled with tears. They were not just sad tears from the past. They were tears of feeling safe and understood. He did not let go of my hand. Instead, he used his other hand to gently wipe the tears from my face. His touch was warm and comforting. I let him hold my hand. My heart, which had felt cold and closed for such a long time because of Johnny's lies, started to feel a small bit of warmth again. It started to heal slowly, bit by bit, with Marco's kindness. 7. Johnny returns. Johnny came back into my life very suddenly. One morning, I was going to my hotel. This was the hotel I worked hard to make good again, and I saw him there. Johnny was standing outside the front door. He held a big bunch of red roses. He looked a little thinner than before, but he still had the same smile I remembered. Many cameras were there too. Reporters were standing around him. They shouted questions loudly. It was a big show, like a circus. Johnny saw me and walked closer. He tried to give me the flowers. He spoke loudly so the reporters could hear. He said, "Isabella, I made a big mistake. I want you back. Please forgive me." He told the reporters that I was the only woman he loved. He said he had changed and that he would try to make me happy for the rest of his life. I was very surprised. I could not believe he came here like this, in front of everyone. It was a very public thing to do. When Marco heard about it, he was very angry. He knew how much Johnny had hurt me before. My father was also very angry. He said very bad things about Johnny. He wanted to send his security people to make Johnny leave. My team at the hotel was also worried. They thought this public show would be bad for the hotel's name. They said it could hurt the good reputation I had built. But Johnny did not seem to care about the hotel or anyone else. He seemed to like all the attention. He was everywhere in the news. He talked to newspapers and was on TV shows. He wrote long messages on social media. He said how much he loved me and how sorry he was. He even cried on a morning TV show. He told everyone he was lost without me. Some people who watched started to feel sorry for him. They thought maybe he really had changed this time. I almost started to think he was telling the truth, just for a moment. But then, I learned the real reason why he came back. My father still wanted to protect me. He asked a private investigator to find out what Johnny did after our divorce. The investigator found out that Johnny had spent all the money he got from our short marriage. He tried to start a business, but it failed. He had many debts. He owed money to many people. He had no money left. He did not want me back because he loved me. He wanted my money again. The flowers, the public words, the crying on TV, it was all a lie. It was just another show. He thought I was still the same girl he fooled before, but he was wrong. 8. I choose myself. This time my anger was not hot. It felt cold and very clear. Johnny was trying to trick everyone again, especially me. I knew I could not let him. It was time for me to tell the truth, not just to a few people, but to everyone. I decided to have a meeting with the press. My team helped me plan it at my hotel. The room was full of people. There were bright lights and many cameras. Reporters held up their notebooks and microphones. They all waited to hear what I would say about Johnny, my ex-husband who had come back. I walked to the front of the room where a stand was waiting. I felt a little scared, but I also felt strong inside. I looked at all the faces and all the cameras. I took a deep breath. "Good morning," I said. My voice was steady, not shaking. "I know why you are here. You want to hear about Johnny. So I will tell you. Yes, I married Johnny," I continued. "And for a short time I thought I loved him. I was young then, maybe I believed things too easily." Some reporters wrote notes. But he lied to me. He met other women. He hurt my heart very badly, and he made me look foolish in front of everyone. "Now he is here again," I said. "He says he loves me. He says he has changed. He says he wants me back." I looked right at the main camera. It felt like I was speaking to Johnny and to the whole city. But I know the truth. Johnny has no money now. He lost it all. He does not want me. He wants my money, again, but he will not get any money from me, not one single coin. People in the room started to whisper. I stood straighter. My name is Isabella, I said loudly. I am not just a rich girl. I am not just someone's daughter or someone's ex-wife. I am a woman who built her own business. I worked very hard. I made my hotel successful. I am a strong woman. I do not need anyone to save me. I can save myself. When I finished speaking, the room became loud with noise. People started to clap their hands. They were smiling at me. I felt a big weight leave my shoulders. I had told my story my way. Marco was standing in the room. He smiled at me, a kind and proud smile. He was always there for me, but I did not think about marrying him or anyone right away. I had learned a very important lesson. My happiness must start with me. After that day, Johnny stopped appearing in the news. My life felt like it was truly mine again. I kept working at my hotel and I started new business projects. My business grew even bigger. I lived my life fully. I laughed with my friends, I went to new places, and I worked hard. And sometimes I walked in the park with Marco, holding his hand. My heart was healing, little by little. I chose myself. This was the best choice I ever made in my life.